Why can't you be more like your sister, Chloe? She sends us $4,000 every month. You're just an ungrateful daughter. My mother screamed into the phone. I started to say, "But Mom, I'm the one sending that money," before my father cut me off. "Don't you dare try to steal your sister's accomplishments," he shouted. So I stopped trying to explain. And a week later, I stopped the payments too. I need to start at the beginning so you understand how it got this bad. My name is Eliza, and I'm 32 years old. I live in Seattle, about 2,000 miles from where I grew up in Ohio. I work as a software engineer at a tech company, and I make good money. I've worked hard to get where I am. I put myself through college with scholarships and part-time jobs. I studied late into the night while my roommates partied. I took internships that paid barely anything just to build my resume. After graduation, I moved across the country for my first real job. I've built a life I'm proud of, even if I built it alone. My parents never understood what I did for work. They would introduce me to relatives and say, "Eliza does something with computers." Then they would turn to my sister and beam. "And Chloe is so creative. She's exploring her options." That was code for unemployed. Chloe is 28 and hasn't held a steady job in her entire adult life. She's had a parade of part-time gigs at coffee shops and retail stores, but she always quits after a few months. She says the managers don't appreciate her or the work environment is toxic. The truth is that Chloe has never liked being told what to do. But Chloe has something I don't have. She has charm. She's bubbly and affectionate. She visits my parents every Sunday for dinner. She posts photos on social media of her and Mom baking cookies or her and Dad watching football. She remembers to call them on every holiday. She knows how to say the right things to make them feel loved. I was never good at that. I'm quiet and reserved. I show love through actions, not words. I solve problems. I'm the one who researches their medication side effects and sends them articles about health. I'm the one who set up their wireless router when they got internet. But that's not what they value. They value Chloe's hugs and her laughter and the way she makes them feel like the center of the universe. This dynamic started when we were kids. I was the serious one, the one who got good grades and followed the rules. Chloe was the fun one, the one who made everyone laugh. When I brought home straight A's, my dad would glance at my report card and say, "Good job." When Chloe brought home C's and 1B, they would celebrate and take her out for ice cream because she tried so hard. I learned early that my accomplishments were expected and therefore not worth celebrating. Chloe's mediocrity was always rewarded because it came with a smile. As we got older, the pattern continued. I got a full scholarship to college. They said, "Well, you were always the smart one." Chloe dropped out after one semester. They said, "College isn't for everyone. She'll find her path." I started my career and moved away. They said I was cold and distant. Chloe stayed nearby and couch surfed between friends' apartments. They said she was family-oriented. No matter what I did, I was the scapegoat. No matter what Chloe did, she was the golden child. I accepted this as the way things were. I stopped trying to win their approval and focused on building my own life. Then, 10 years ago, everything changed. My parents called me in a panic. My dad had invested their savings in a business opportunity with a friend. It was supposed to be a sure thing, a chance to finally have financial security in retirement. Instead, it was a disaster. The business failed within a year, and they lost everything. They had taken out a second mortgage on their house to invest even more money. Now, they couldn't make the payments. The bank was threatening foreclosure. They were going to lose the home they'd lived in for 30 years. I was only 22 and had just started my first real job. I didn't have much saved, but I couldn't let them lose their house. I called the bank and talked to them about options. I learned that if I could come up with a down payment and qualify for a refinance, I could save the house. The monthly payment would be $3,200. Plus, I figured they needed about $800 more for utilities and basic expenses they were struggling with. So, $4,000 total each month. I took out a personal loan for the down payment. I worked extra freelance projects on nights and weekends. I ate ramen and didn't buy new clothes. I made it work. The house was refinanced and the title was put in my name because my parents' credit was ruined. I set up an automatic payment from my bank account to theirs for $4,000 every month. But here's the thing. I did it anonymously. I know that sounds strange, but I had my reasons. My parents have always been proud people. They never asked me for money, even when they were desperate. When they called about the foreclosure, they were just venting, not asking for help. I knew that if they found out I was the one paying their mortgage, it would humiliate them. My dad especially would have felt like a failure. So I set up the payment to show up as a generic bank transfer with no name attached. I thought I was protecting their dignity. I called them a few days after the first payment went through. I asked casually how things were going with the house. My mom said, "Oh, it's the strangest thing. Some money showed up in our account. We think maybe it's from the bank, like some kind of assistance program your father applied for." We're just so relieved I didn't correct her. I let her believe whatever made her feel better. I figured eventually I would tell them the truth, but the right moment never came. Months passed, then years. The payments continued like clockwork. My parents never mentioned the mysterious money to me again. I assumed they had just accepted it as some kind of bureaucratic luck and moved on. I kept paying. It was hard at first, especially on an entry-level salary, but I got promoted. My income grew. The $4,000 became easier to manage, though it still meant I couldn't save as much as I wanted. I put off buying a house of my own. I drove an old car. I took cheap vacations. But my parents had a roof over their heads, and that felt worth it. I didn't visit often. It was expensive to fly across the country, and honestly, being around my family was exhausting. Every visit was a reminder that I would never be enough in their eyes. They would criticize my clothes, my hair, my job, my lack of a husband. Meanwhile, Chloe could do no wrong. So I stayed away. I called on birthdays and holidays. I sent cards. I kept my distance and told myself it was better this way. Then, about 5 years ago, something changed. My parents started talking about Chloe differently. They mentioned how responsible she had become, how she was helping them with things around the house, how she was taking care of them. I thought maybe she had finally grown up. Maybe she had gotten a good job and was contributing. I was genuinely happy for her. It felt like maybe she was becoming the adult she was supposed to be. I didn't know the truth. I didn't know that Chloe had volunteered to help my parents set up online banking. She told them that managing money online was complicated and that she would handle it for them. They trusted her completely. She got access to their bank accounts and saw the monthly $4,000 deposit. She must have done some digging and figured out it was coming from me. And instead of telling our parents the truth, she took credit for it. I have no idea exactly how she pulled it off. Maybe she showed them fake transaction records on her phone. Maybe she told them she was sending it through some app and they just believed her. My parents aren't tech savvy. If Chloe showed them a screen that said she was transferring money, they would accept it as truth. However she did it, it worked. They believed that Chloe, their unemployed golden child, was somehow sending them $4,000 every single month. For 5 years, this lie continued, and I had no idea. Chloe built her entire identity around being the family savior. She told everyone how she was taking care of our aging parents. She soaked up their praise and gratitude, and the whole time, I was the one actually paying for everything. I was the ghost benefactor, funding a delusion that made me the ungrateful daughter and Chloe the hero. Meanwhile, Chloe was also texting me every few months asking to borrow money. It was always a few $100s here and there. She always had some emergency. Her car broke down. She owed a friend. She needed to pay a deposit on a new apartment. I sent her money because she was my sister, and I thought she was struggling. I never connected the dots. I never realized that she was living off my generosity while taking credit for even more generosity she wasn't showing. This whole house of cards came crashing down 3 weeks ago. I had just gotten a promotion at work. It came with a significant raise and a new title. I was excited and proud. I wanted to share the news with someone, and in a moment of weakness, I called my parents. I should have known better. I should have remembered that my accomplishments never mattered to them. But I was feeling hopeful. I thought maybe this time would be different. My mom answered the phone. I could hear the TV in the background and my dad talking to someone. "Hi, Mom," I said. "I have some good news. I just got promoted to senior engineer. It comes with a big raise, and I'm finally going to be able to get a bigger apartment." There was a pause. Then my mom said, "Oh, that's nice, dear." Her voice was flat, disinterested. I heard her say something to my dad, and then she came back to the phone. "A new apartment? That must be nice. Your sister Chloe just took us out to dinner at that Italian place we love. She's so wonderful. She's always thinking of us." I felt the familiar sting of dismissal, but I pushed through. "That's great, Mom. I'm glad you had a nice time." My mom continued. "We'd be on the street if it weren't for her. That $4,000 she sends us every month. She's a true blessing. We're so lucky to have a daughter like her." "Why can't you be more like your sister?" The words hit me like a physical blow. I actually had to sit down. My brain was trying to process what she had just said. $4,000 a month? I repeated. "What are you talking about?" "The money Chloe sends us," my mom said, irritation creeping into her voice. "She's been taking care of us for years now. She pays the mortgage and helps with our bills. She's so selfless. You're out there getting promotions and new apartments, and your sister is sacrificing everything to take care of her parents." My mouth went dry. I felt dizzy. "Mom, wait. What, $4,000? I don't understand. Chloe doesn't have a job. Where would she get that kind of money? She works very hard," my mom snapped. "Just because she doesn't have some fancy corporate job like you doesn't mean she doesn't work. She does freelance work and gig jobs. She makes it work because she cares about family, something you clearly know nothing about." I was stunned into silence. My mind was racing. Chloe was taking credit for my money. For 10 years, I had been paying for my parents' house. And for 5 of those years, Chloe had been pretending it was her. The betrayal was so enormous I couldn't even process it. I finally found my voice. "Mom, I need to tell you something. I'm the one sending you that money. It's for the mortgage. I've been paying it for 10 years. The house is in my name. I took out a loan to save it when Dad's business failed. Chloe didn't send you anything. It's me. It's always been me." I heard my mom say something away from the phone. Then my dad's voice came on the line, loud and angry. "What did you just say?" "Dad, I'm trying to explain. The money you think is from Chloe is actually from me. I'm the one who saved the house. I've been paying the mortgage this whole time." "Don't you dare!" my father shouted. I had never heard him so furious. "Don't you dare try to steal your sister's accomplishments. How can you be so jealous and petty? We've seen her phone. She shows us the transfers. She's proud of taking care of us, and you want to take that away from her?" "Dad, please listen. I can prove it. I can show you the bank records. The house is in my name. I can send you the mortgage statements." "Enough!" he roared. "I don't want to hear another word of this. You are a jealous, bitter, and ungrateful daughter. Your sister is twice the person you'll ever be. She's here, she cares, she sacrifices, and you call once every few months from your fancy life in Seattle and think that matters. Don't call here again until you can apologize to your sister for trying to steal credit for her generosity. The line went dead. He had hung up on me. I sat there holding my phone, staring at it in disbelief. I had just told my parents the truth, and they didn't believe me. They chose to believe Chloe's lie over my truth. They wanted to believe that Chloe was their savior. They needed to believe it. The truth didn't fit the story they had built in their heads, so they rejected it completely. My phone buzzed. It was a text from Chloe. "What the hell did you just do? Mom just called me crying. Why would you try to take credit for my help? Are you really that jealous of me?" I stared at the message in disbelief. She was doubling down on the lie. Even in private, even directly to me, she was pretending. I typed back, "It's my money. You've known for 5 years. How could you do this?" Her response came quickly. "I don't know what you're talking about. I've been supporting them. Just because you make more money doesn't mean you can claim my contributions." Another text followed immediately. "Actually, you know what? We need to talk. Call me." My phone rang. It was Chloe. Against my better judgment, I answered. "Fine," she said immediately, her voice dropping to a whisper. "Yes, I know it's your money. But, Eliza, they don't need to know that. You were sending it anonymously anyway." "What? Does it matter who gets credit?" It made them so happy to think I was taking care of them. "You live so far away, you never visit." This gave me a way to make them proud of me. "You have your fancy job and your whole life out there. Let me have this one thing." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "Let you have this?" "Chloe, I've been paying $4,000 a month for 10 years. That's almost $500,000. You took credit for $500,000 of my money. You weren't even going to tell them," she hissed. "You were doing it anonymously. So, what difference does it make? They're happy. I'm happy. The only person with a problem is you, because you can't stand that they love me more." "This isn't about love," I said, my voice shaking. "This is about you lying and stealing credit for something you didn't do." "I'm not stealing anything," Chloe shot back. "I take care of them in ways you never have. I'm there for Sunday dinners. I drive them to doctor's appointments. I help around the house. So what if they think the money comes from me? I earn it in other ways. You just send money. I actually show up." "With gas paid for by money I send you," I said quietly. The pieces were clicking into place. "All those times you asked to borrow money, that was so you could afford to play the devoted daughter." Chloe was silent for a moment. "Eliza, please. Just go along with it. Tell them you were confused or that you were helping me and got mixed up. I'll pay you back someday, I promise. I just need you to cover for me right now. They can't find out I've been lying. It would destroy them." "No," I said simply. "What do you mean? I'm not covering for you. I tried to tell them the truth, and they didn't believe me. So I'm done. I'm done with all of it." "Eliza, you have to." Chloe's voice took on a desperate edge. "If you don't, they'll know I lied. You'll ruin everything." "You ruined it yourself," I said, and hung up. I sat in my apartment as the evening light faded. I felt numb. My whole body felt heavy. For 10 years, I had sacrificed for my parents. I had put their needs before my own financial security. I had done it quietly, without asking for recognition or gratitude. And in return, they had given all their love and admiration to Chloe. They had called me ungrateful. They had accused me of trying to steal my sister's accomplishments. They had told me not to call until I apologized. Something inside me shifted in that moment. It wasn't anger exactly. It was clarity. Cold, hard clarity. I finally understood that the truth didn't matter to my parents. They were addicted to the lie. They wanted to believe that Chloe was their savior because it fit the narrative they had built their whole lives. Chloe was the good daughter, the loving one, the one who cared. I was the distant one, the cold one, the ungrateful one. Facts and evidence couldn't compete with the story they wanted so badly to be true. I realized that I had spent my entire adult life trying to earn love from people who had already decided I wasn't worthy of it. I had paid for their house, their bills, their comfort. I had sent money to my sister. I had called and sent cards and tried to stay connected, and none of it mattered. I would never be Chloe in their eyes. I would always be the disappointment. They had told me not to call. They had accused me of stealing. They had called me jealous and bitter and ungrateful. Fine. If that's who they thought I was, then I would give them exactly what they wanted. They wanted Chloe to be their benefactor. They could have her, all of her, without my money propping up her lie. I opened my laptop. My hands were steady. I logged into my bank account and navigated to the automatic payments section. There it was, $4,000 to my parents' account, scheduled for the first of every month. I had looked at this payment 1,000 times over the years. Every month, I would check to make sure it had gone through. It had become such a routine part of my life that I barely thought about it anymore. I clicked on the payment. A menu appeared with options. I scrolled down to Cancel Recurring Payment. My cursor hovered over the button. I thought about my parents opening their bank statement and seeing no money. I thought about the mortgage payment bouncing. I thought about them calling Chloe in a panic. I thought about Chloe's lies finally catching up to her. I clicked the button. A confirmation message appeared. Are you sure you want to cancel this recurring payment? I clicked yes. Your recurring payment has been canceled. It was done. Just like that. 10 years of sacrifice ended with 2 clicks. Before we go on, hit like, make sure to subscribe, and comment. Would you forgive them or walk away? My phone buzzed again. It was Chloe. Please, Eliza, don't do anything crazy. We can work this out. I'll tell them the truth, I promise. Just give me time to figure out how to explain it. I opened my banking app and blocked her number. I didn't want to hear from her again. I turned my phone on silent and set it face down on the table. I made myself dinner. I watched a movie. I went to bed. The next morning, I woke up and went to work. Life continued. The world didn't end. I felt lighter than I had in years. Days passed. My phone lit up with notifications, but I didn't check them. I knew what they would say. I knew my family would be trying to reach me. But they had told me not to call. They had told me I was unwelcome until I apologized for a truth they refused to believe. So, I was giving them what they asked for, silence. A week went by, then 2. The first of the month came and went. The payment that usually arrived like clockwork didn't show up. I imagined my parents checking their bank account and seeing nothing. I imagined the confusion, then the concern. The mortgage payment would have been due. Without the $4,000, they couldn't cover it. The payment would bounce. The bank would charge a fee. They would get a notice. I finally looked at my phone. I had 67 unread text messages and 23 missed calls. I scrolled through them, not reading carefully, just skimming. The progression was clear. First confusion, then concern, then panic, then anger, then desperation. The first message was from my mom, 3 days after I canceled the payment. Eliza, honey, can you call me when you get a chance? We need to talk. Then from my dad the next day. Eliza, call us back. It's important. Then from my mom again. The bank called. They said our mortgage payment didn't go through. Chloe says she sent the money like always. There must be some mistake. Can you help us figure this out? Then the messages got more frantic. Eliza, where are you? Why aren't you answering? We really need your help. From Chloe on a different number since I'd blocked her first one. Pick up your phone. This isn't funny anymore. They're asking questions I can't answer. You have to fix this. Then my dad, angry. I don't know what kind of game you're playing, but your mother is worried sick. Call us back immediately. From my mom. Please, Eliza. I don't understand what's happening. The bank says we're going to be charged late fees. Chloe is trying to figure out where her payment went. Did something happen to you? Are you okay? More from Chloe. You're really going to do this? You're going to let them lose their house because your feelings are hurt? This is insane. You're insane. Then my dad again. Your sister is in tears. She says her bank shows the transfer went through, but it's not in our account. We need you to send an emergency payment to cover the mortgage. We'll pay you back when this gets sorted out. I felt nothing reading these messages. No guilt, no sadness, no anger, just a distant, cold detachment. They still didn't get it. Even now, they believed Chloe's lie. She was telling them her payment got lost somehow. They were asking me to send emergency money to cover for Chloe's missing payment. They had learned nothing. More days passed. The messages became more desperate. My mom, Eliza, I'm begging you. Please send us money. Just this once. The bank is threatening to start foreclosure proceedings if we don't catch up on the payment. We don't understand what happened to Chloe's money. Please help us. From Chloe. I hope you're happy. They're going to figure it out and it's going to break their hearts. This is all your fault. You're destroying this family. The irony of that message was almost funny. I was destroying the family by not paying for them. She had been lying to them for 5 years, but I was the villain. Then, 2 weeks after I canceled the payment, my phone rang. It was my dad. I had ignored all the other calls, but something told me to answer this one. I picked up, but didn't say anything. Eliza? His voice was different. Not angry, broken. Eliza, are you there? Please don't hang up. I'm here, I said quietly. We need to talk. Can you please just listen? He sounded exhausted, defeated. I heard my mom crying in the background. Chloe told us the truth. She confessed everything. The money was from you. It was always from you. She's been lying to us for years. The house is in your name. You saved us, and we didn't even know. Silence stretched between us. I waited. Eliza, I'm so sorry. We were horrible to you. We said terrible things. You've been taking care of us this whole time, and we accused you of being ungrateful. I don't know how to make this right, but please, we're begging you. Don't let us lose the house. We're going to be homeless. The bank has started foreclosure. We have 60 days to catch up on payments or we lose everything. Please, Eliza, we'll do anything. We'll apologize to everyone. We'll tell them all the truth. Just please don't abandon us. I could hear my mom sobbing louder now. My dad was crying too, I realized. I had never heard my father cry before. Part of me, a small part, felt sorry for them. They were old and scared and facing homelessness. But the larger part of me, the part that had been paying their bills for a decade while being treated like dirt, felt nothing. You told me not to call, I said calmly. You said I was jealous and bitter and ungrateful. You said not to come back until I apologized for trying to steal Chloe's accomplishments. So, I didn't call. I didn't steal Chloe's accomplishments. They're all hers, the house, the bills, the mortgage. Let her handle it. Eliza, please, my father begged. Don't do this. We made a mistake. We were wrong. But we're your parents. You can't just leave us homeless. I've been paying for a house I wasn't welcome in for 10 years, I said. My voice was steady, emotionless. I've been funding a lie that you preferred over the truth. When I tried to tell you the truth, you called me a liar and hung up on me. You chose Chloe's fiction over my reality. So now you can live in Chloe's fiction. Let the daughter you think is so wonderful save you. She can't, my dad said desperately. She doesn't have money. She never did. We know that now. Eliza, please. We know we failed you. We know we were terrible parents, but please don't do this. I'm not doing anything, I replied. I'm just not doing what I was doing before. You told me I was ungrateful for everything Chloe provided. So I stopped providing it. You're getting exactly what you asked for. We didn't know, my mom shouted from the background. She must have grabbed the phone because suddenly it was her voice in my ear. We didn't know it was you, Eliza. If we had known, everything would have been different. Would it? I asked. Would it really, Mom? Because I told you it was me, and you didn't believe me. Dad said he'd seen Chloe's phone showing the transfers. You had evidence of her lies, but you chose to believe her anyway. The only reason you believe me now is because Chloe finally admitted it. Even when I told you the truth, you picked her over me. So, no, I don't think anything would have been different. My mom was crying so hard she couldn't speak. My dad took the phone back. What do you want? He asked. What can we do to fix this? Do you want us to apologize publicly? Do you want us to tell the whole family what Chloe did? We'll do it. We'll do whatever you want. Just please start sending the money again. Please don't let us lose everything. I don't want anything from you, I said. I don't want apologies or public confessions. I don't want anything at all. For the first time in my life, I'm free from needing your approval or love. You made it clear where I stand in this family. I'm the ungrateful one, remember? So, let the grateful one take care of you. She can't, my dad shouted. I just told you she can't. She is nothing. We see that now. You're our daughter. You're the one who cared, please. I was always your daughter, I said softly. I was always the one who cared. But that was never enough, was it? My love was quiet and practical, so it didn't count. Chloe's love was loud and showy, even though it was fake. You made your choice about which daughter mattered. Now live with it. Eliza, wait, my father said. But I hung up. I sat there for a long time holding my phone. I wasn't shaking. I wasn't crying. I felt calm. I felt certain. For the first time in my entire life, I had set a boundary with my family and held it. I had let them face the consequences of their choices. They had chosen to believe a lie. They had chosen to treat me as less than. And now, they were living in the reality those choices created. My phone rang again. I didn't answer. It rang several more times over the next few days. I got more text messages. Some were angry, some were pleading, some were from relatives I barely knew, asking me to reconsider, telling me that family forgives. I didn't respond to any of them. I had said everything I needed to say. There was nothing left to discuss. I heard through my aunt, the only family member I still spoke to, what happened next. My parents couldn't make the mortgage payments. They tried to negotiate with the bank, but they had no income to support a new payment plan. The foreclosure proceeded. They had to sell whatever equity was left in the house, which wasn't much after fees and penalties. They moved into a small 2-bedroom apartment across town. Chloe moved in with them. She had been living with a boyfriend who kicked her out when the truth came out and he realized she had no money. The three of them now share that tiny apartment. My parents sleep in one bedroom, Chloe in the other. My dad had to get a part-time job at a hardware store to help cover rent. My mom started cleaning houses. Chloe supposedly got a job at a grocery store, but my aunt wasn't sure if she was still working there. The family knows the truth now. Chloe's lies spread through our relatives like wildfire. Everyone knows that she took credit for years of my financial support. Everyone knows that our parents chose to believe her over me. Some relatives have reached out to me with apologies and support. Others have told me I'm cruel for cutting off my elderly parents. I don't engage with either group. Their opinions don't matter to me anymore. I've started using that extra $4,000 a month for myself. I maxed out my retirement contributions. I built up my emergency fund. I'm saving for a down payment on a house of my own. For the first time in 10 years, I'm investing in my future instead of their past. I'm traveling. I'm taking classes I'm interested in. I'm living my life for me. Sometimes People ask if I feel guilty. The answer is no, I don't. I feel sad that my parents are struggling, but I'm not responsible for their situation. They created it through years of choices. They chose to favor one daughter over the other. They chose to believe a lie over the truth. They chose to call me ungrateful when I was the only one giving. Those were their choices, and I'm not responsible for the consequences. I've thought a lot about what my dad said on that last call. He said Chloe is nothing. That was cruel, but also revealing. He only valued her when he thought she was giving him money. The second he found out she wasn't, she became worthless to him. That's not love. That's transaction. And it showed me that their love was always conditional. I would never have been enough for them, no matter what I did, because I wasn't the daughter they wanted me to be. The daughter they wanted was charming and local and available for Sunday dinners. The daughter they wanted made them feel good about themselves. I was too far away, too serious, too focused on building my own life. I couldn't be who they wanted, so I was always going to be the disappointment. Once I understood that, it became easier to let go. I haven't spoken to my parents in months. I haven't spoken to Chloe at all. I don't plan to. Maybe someday, years from now, we'll reconnect. Maybe they'll truly understand what they did and find a way to apologize that feels real. Or maybe not. Either way, I'm okay. I'm better than okay. I'm free. I'm free from the weight of their expectations. I'm free from the cycle of giving and never receiving. I'm free from being the scapegoat in a family that needed someone to blame for their own failures. I'm free from funding a delusion that hurt me. I gave them everything I had for 10 years, and they threw it back in my face. So, I took it back. All of it. And I don't regret it. My family preferred a comfortable lie over a hard truth. So, I took away the lie and left them with the consequences. They wanted to believe that Chloe was their savior. They got their wish. She can save them now, if she can. And if she can't, that's not my problem anymore. I've spent enough of my life solving problems for people who never appreciated it. Now, I'm solving problems for myself. I'm building the life I want. I'm investing in my own future. I'm surrounding myself with people who value me for who I am, not what I can give them. I'm learning what it feels like to be appreciated and respected. Turns out, it feels pretty good. So here I am. No longer the secret savior, no longer the scapegoat, just Eliza. A woman who finally learned that you can't force people to see your worth, and you shouldn't bankrupt yourself trying. A woman who learned that sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself is walk away from people who hurt you, even if they're family. A woman who learned that freedom costs something, and sometimes that cost is everything you thought family meant. Was I wrong? Did I finally give them what they deserved? Or was I as ungrateful as they claimed? I've asked myself that question 100 times. Here's what I think. Gratitude is a two-way street. They wanted me to be grateful for the privilege of being their daughter, but they were never grateful for what I gave them. They never valued my sacrifice. They took my money and gave my sister the credit. So no, I'm not ungrateful. I'm just done being taken for granted. They had a daughter who would have done anything for them. I proved that for 10 years. They could have had my support, my love, my help for their entire lives. All they had to do was see me, really see me, and appreciate what I was doing. They didn't. And now, they don't have it anymore. That's not cruelty. That's consequence. And sometimes, consequence is the only teacher that works. My family preferred a comfortable lie over a hard truth. So I took away the lie and left them with the consequences. Did I finally give them what they deserved? Or was I as ungrateful as they claimed? Let me know in the comments.